Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Toad, and today I am going to teach you how to do shadow work. So, basically, don't learn how to do it. For this reason, if you learn how to do it, then that's not coming up with your own technique for how to do it. But if you come up with your own technique for how to do it, then it's always going to resonate with your own mind. Okay? Think about it, right? Because if your mind came up with it, then your mind can take it back without problems. But you also need to see videos trying to teach you how to do shadow work, because if you don't, then you don't really get the idea of what shadow work even is. So, that being said, first I'm going to tell you what it is, then I'm going to tell you my own technique for how to do it. Look at other videos to tell you different techniques, and then develop your own technique. That's the best way to do anything. Okay, so what shadow work is, without using the word shadow or any of those weird words like that, is making your subconscious mind a part of your conscious mind. What your subconscious mind is not something we are born with. It's actually something that we get raised or we learn to have, because we get taught as we grow up with the system of punishment and reward. This means that we're kind of channeled, kind of like with a funnel, to take some parts that society doesn't like, take those out, and then only the parts that society likes is what goes, right? And then even parts that are more desirable than others are what finally comes out to make this perfect society human. But that's a bunch of trash, because turning the lights off on something doesn't make it go away. It just means that whatever is undesirable about that person is just not expressed. And when something is not expressed, it remains inside of you, okay? So, yeah, your subconscious mind is a bucket of stuff which you have rejected about yourself because of society grooming you in such a way that you're not really being authentic to who you really are. Kind of like putting a really terrible quality pipe inside of a copper pipe. What's the sense in that when you could just let the water flow through the copper pipe, right? So, yeah, what it is integrating your subconscious mind so that you only have a big, expansive conscious mind. This is how we're born. You know how we don't have filters, we just say whatever, and we don't feel bad for it? And because it's the truth most of the time, when we're born, we're very truthful, okay? So, that is the result of shadow work. Except maybe sometimes don't be that incredibly truthful, because that can be offensive. Okay, so shadow work is kind of like a part of growing up, because when you're a kid, you don't know how to get your true self to function in society, but when you grow up, you can be authentic and still function in society, okay? So that's what shadow work does. Now my own technique, now that I have wasted 4 minutes of your life, my own technique for how to do shadow work is I go in a dark and also quiet room, and dark is this room, but with its lights off, because that makes it dark. See? That's the logic. Okay, so dark, quiet room, and you're going to lay down, preferably. Now, maybe you can stand up if you want to stand up, but a lot of the time that can be distracting from what's really going on in your own mind. So yeah, lay down, and don't get comfortable. Lay down on the floor. It depends on whether your floor is clean. If you don't have a clean floor, lay down on a picnic blanket or something, or a couch maybe. And you're going to think about points in your life where you were not able to express your own truth. It might have been the truth to you that you actually didn't do something and someone else did it and you're getting blamed for it and no one believes you. And you're not allowed to express that because you've already expressed it and it just keeps getting rejected. And then if you let out any more of that truth, then it'll just cause a bunch of venom getting shot at you. So you don't want that. So you keep that truth inside of you, and that causes pain. Okay, it always causes pain when you can't express yourself, okay? So, think back to memories where that had to happen in order to not cause any more chaos. Well, not that specific scenario, but other scenarios where you were not allowed to express yourself or be true to who you are or what your truth is. So, yeah, think back to those memories and examine those memories, okay? You're going to think about, you're going to think about a lot of things. First one you're going to think of is how you could have, don't feel bad because you could have done anything, but you're going to think about how you could have done something to where you could express your own truth and still not cause chaos in yourself much more than the outside world, okay? You don't want to cause chaos in yourself. So, much more think about how to not cause chaos by expressing yourself in yourself, alright? You're also going to think about how to not cause as much chaos outside of you. And also you're going to think about what exactly it was that caused it to be so difficult for you to be authentic in these scenarios. What caused you to suppress something about yourself? And examine that cause. And if it was a person, then I'll give you an example. No, I won't give you an example. I can actually say this pretty easily without an example. Basically, was it their unconscious behavior that caused it to be so hard for you to be authentic? If so, unconscious means they didn't know what they were doing. So really what was happening is their unconscious mind was developing your unconscious mind, and that's not good. We need to have conscious minds, okay? So, you're going to examine that, and basically, shadow work a lot of the time is about forgiving. So, you're going to try to find a way to forgive them, okay? You see the idea here? You're kind of putting reasons behind this and realizing that it all came from unconscious behavior in order to raise your vibration in accordance to that memory, okay? So what that means is that memory, which is a low vibration, is now being brought into your conscious mind and its vibration is getting raised, okay? So what I'm saying is you have to lower your vibration in order to perceive of these lower vibrational memories so that you can make them conscious and raise your vibration even more. So shadow work is the process of raising your vibrations. So, yeah. And then after you do that with the most recent time that caused that, you're going to think of the most recent experience that you've had that caused your subconscious mind to develop even more. And you're going to bring that into your conscious mind and raise the vibration of that memory. And you're going to keep doing this with these stones that you have in your subconscious mind. Okay? Just keep going further and further and further back gradually. This isn't something you do in one night. It takes a while. I'm positive I have not integrated my whole shadow yet, or my whole unconscious mind. So, yeah, yeah. Basically, you're thinking to these painful experiences that you had to be inauthentic in, and you're raising the vibration of these memories that you've suppressed, because that's the mechanism of our mind. It creates uh, a little garbage can for all the stuff we don't want to deal with to go in. But the purpose of this garbage can is to deal with it later, which we never do. Okay, so that's what shadow work is. It's dealing with all that stuff in the garbage can that you don't want. Um, so, yeah, shadow work is a process of raising your vibration by lowering it, if that makes sense. So yeah, when you do this, what is going to happen? Well, when you do shadow work, what's going to happen is, because you no longer have subconscious memories looping themselves in your mind, your neurons won't be repeatedly firing, creating an AC current, or a current of electricity from your neurons. What happens is, when you have this constant firing of electrons, your synapses connect. Okay? Synapses are the little gaps between the neurons where they fire off electromagnetic signals. Okay? They'll connect and they'll form a direct wire in your brain because they're played so often. Okay? So that becomes the most efficient way to do it. The electricity goes faster that way. But that also means that your magnetic field around your body, that people call your aura, will lose its power, basically. It can be a very high frequency aura, or a very light color, as we would perceive it, and yet the magnetic field could just be very wispy and thin and weak. So, that is not good, because the outside dimensional layers that are less dense and larger create the denser ones. Yes, the higher dimensions create the lower ones. So, because energy flows downward naturally, okay? So, what that means, where was I going with that thought? Oh yeah, what that means is, when your aura is very weak, then you're accessing maybe the fourth dimension at best. Even when you're in your ego mind, that would be very hard. And then those other dimensions are cut off because of these lower vibrational things holding you down in the back of your mind. Okay, so that's... And when you strengthen your magnetic field or your aura, also what happens is you'll be able to affect the magnetic field. And what I mean by magnetic field is energetic field, because all things are energy. Nothing is not energy, because everything is energy. So, everything also emits energy, which comes back in on itself. Everything is a magnet, but it's not necessarily magnetism. It's not necessarily metallic magnetism. It's a different kind of magnetism, okay? It's a light magnetism. Okay, so that's what your aura is. It's a light magnetism around your body. So, when that strengthens, you can affect the light magnetism of other objects, and you'll begin to be able to maybe do telepathy and connect your magnetic field to someone else's and move energy from yourself to another being. And also, you might be able to practice with telekinesis and moving the card on the pencil. That's one of the common techniques. Yeah, and aerokinesis. I like aerokinesis. It's not that hard to do. Well, it's not that hard for me to do, because it's natural to me. But you might have some other type of psychokinesis that's natural to you, and that's what you should practice, because that is the most authentic thing to do. So shadow work is good for developing psychokinesis, developing a healthy mind. It's good for raising your vibration. And also, after you do shadow work, guess what? Positive focus will actually work. Because as it is, people of the law of attraction group are idiots. So they literally work on this strange and abnormal basis where they literally suppress thoughts that don't go with what they're trying to manifest, and then they just keep it on their mind all the time until they've suppressed all that stuff to where they've narrowed their mind down. That's not good. Okay? So when you do shadow work, positive focus will actually work because you'll be able to naturally focus your mind. So this is your field of vision, right here. That's your field. This is your field of vision, right everywhere, okay? But that's your focus, instead of going like this and focusing right there. That will not work. That's why positive focus rarely works, and that's why the law of attraction rarely works, or the law of reflection, or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, basically shadow work is just a good thing to do. Oh, and also, shadow work sucks. It's not a fun experience. It does temporarily lower your vibration because you're bringing all these things up into your conscious mind that are lower vibrational, and you have to integrate those to where they can become higher vibrational. So it's a process of raising your vibration. That's what shadow work is. So yeah, it's not a fun process by any means. And also, your subconscious mind. Oh, and also, do a prayer to source energy or God or whatever you believe the higher power has a name of. I don't believe there is any name. Whatever you believe to pray to, do a prayer that other thought forms and other people's shadows cannot attach to you or your spirit or affect your mind in any way. And just say, let it be done. Just let it be done. Because source energy will let it be done. You'll manifest that in the ethereal world, and the astrals. Because those planes are very easy to manifest things on. So, yeah. And then do the shadow work. And it's not an enjoyable experience. Your subconscious mind will start to throw out hallucinations. You might start to see shadows, and you might start to hear whispers, and you might start to talk with your subconscious mind, and it might sound like a scary voice. Just keep in mind that you are safe, and this is your own mind, contrary to the normal way that things are, where it's actually not your mind, and something might be actually happening. Contrary to that, when you're doing shadow work and you've already put the circle of protection around yourself, you're completely safe when you're hearing voices and seeing shadows. So, because your subconscious mind, since it's all these darker aspects about yourself that you've rejected, those are literally going to be symbolically showed to you via your hypothalamus, which gets affected, which is not being affected by dimethyltryptamine. It's your neurons that are sending signals to your hypothalamus and making you see stuff. There's a neural connection between your hypothalamus and your, what are they called? Eyes. And your eyes. So yeah, I hope that video made sense to you. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment on what you want me to do next. Or comment anything, actually. I don't care if you comment. So, yeah. Oh wow, I made a 20-minute video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye, this is Stellar Toad. Have a nice day.